Hi everyone, it's Judy. Welcome back to Rose Lane. Okay, we're continuing. This is, I think, going to be part 3 of the French botanical one that I'm doing. I've been working a little bit behind the scenes, not filming everything, but I got a couple of things ready today. And what we're going to work on is I have 2 places here where, and excuse my hands because I've been doing a little bit of working, try to get some stuff out from under my nails here. Okay. I'll explain this one in a minute. What this does here, this is a, let me get a card. Here, this is a prettier one. Let's get that one so you can see that. So this is a tuck in here. We're going to be working on this, but I have something off to the side kind of drying, trying to get it ready. I'm not sure if this is going to work the way I like it. When you turn this page, there's another pocket here that I made with these die cuts. This is a lily of the valley. It is kind of upside down, but it is what it is. And that's going to be these tags that we're going to be working on here that go in this one, and there's one in the back. And then what happens here is this opens this way. So then I know this is kind of probably going off camera a little bit, but you have all of this space. Maybe if I pull it over, you can see you have, this is like a green pattern background, and then this is the, it's hard to see, but it is a digital with a slightly lacy, you know, imprint there. So this folds back in this way, and then when we go back this way we have that. When we go back this way we have this pocket. So we're going to start with the tags for this because I have something drawing for the other one. There's one in the front here, and then there's one in the back that goes the same way this way, okay? And then there's the front like that. So we're going to work on these tags. So for right now, what I'm going to do with these tags, let me unclip this stuff. I got a little bit of stuff put together ahead. Instead of these tags going this way, I wanted top tucks, so we're going to make these go upside down, and that's precisely why I made 2 of these. I glued 2 of these together because I was concerned about this being very fragile. It is also glued to tracing paper underneath, but it still does want to bend. So there's a couple of places where I think things might be a little fragile in here. So whoever ends up with the journal, I want them to be aware, to take a little care to kind of, you know, lift this up and put things in. It'll be a little bit better. So anyway, the bottom of the tag is going to be what would be traditionally the top, but we're gonna do it this way and decorate it this way. So we'll put this over to the side, and this is what we have here. I've already inked it front and back. I will need to sew on here. It's only because I've already put the paper to the back here. I'm only going to sew around the edge. I'm not going to do any other sewing within it. So this is my thought, and my plan was to, I have a few bits and pieces from what I was cutting before over here, is to put this lace down, do that, and I'm going to try to put it where this bump goes in. I'm going to try to put it by where that bump goes in, and then we'll just glue this down. So I'm going to start it there and end it there. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of hold it in place, see if I've got it centered. Okay, and I'm going to go here, and that's going to be my guide. So I'm going to go down this way, hopefully. Same thing from here, which was right about here, I think. And it's okay if it's a little further in, that's all right. And then I'm just going to go down the middle here with this and up here. And I'll go back, well, I guess I can glue here. And we'll glue across the bottom. That's all I really do, because I just need enough to hold it down. I don't need enough to, you know, so much that I glue the whole thing, you know, the whole piece of lace. I try not to do that. It's kind of, I guess, maybe a waste of glue. It's not really necessary. As long as the middle and the edges are down for me, I'm good with that. So get my little wipey here and press that down. I'm gonna keep an eye on my my phone here. Like I said, I use my phone for my camera because I am starting to get a little full. I want to make sure it keeps recording. All right, so I'm just going to put these pieces to the side, and we're going to glue the lace onto this piece. I can get those back there. So we'll glue the lace onto this piece, and I'm going to assume it's kind of the same thing. So we're going to go right about here, and I'll go down in as straight a line as I'm capable of making. You know what they say, there's nothing like perfectly straight in nature, right? There's like no real straight lines in nature. Nothing's really straight. Not that it's crooked, but, you know, it might be a little fuzzy or whatever. I don't know about that, but I don't know. Okay. All right, so we're going to get this again. We're going to start it in the little bumpy part, and then we'll bring it down. Let's try to get that centered. Oh, I actually have two things to tell you. The first thing I want to tell you is I'm going to be a grand aunt again. I'm very excited. I'm sure I probably have mentioned in previous videos that I have two grandnephews. My brother has twin boys, and they're both 34. They're both married, and they both had a little boy. So we have Ryder, who is my nephew Justin's son, and his wife Melissa. Their son is Ryder, and he's about 2.5, a little over 2.5. And then his twin brother, who is actually the older twin, Jeffrey, he and his wife Samantha have a little boy, and his name is Walker. So now Justin and Melissa, who have Ryder, are now having a little girl. We just found out. And this is a really neat and kind of funny story. Not funny, it's actually neat. I was speaking with my sister-in-law, Justin's mother, and she told me that she had been babysitting for Ryder, and he had been down for a nap, and when he woke up, he said, "Nana, Mommy's got a baby in her belly, and it's a little girl, and her name is Holly." And my sister-in-law, Robin, said, "Oh, is that right?" And he says, "Yes." So when his mother came to pick him up a little while later, she said to Melissa, "So Ryder woke up from a nap today, and he said that you got a baby in your belly, and it's a little girl, and her name is Holly." My sister-in-law's my niece is not that crazy, I guess, about the name Holly. And so they just laughed about it, you know. And about 2 weeks later, Melissa decided that she should probably take a pregnancy test. And she was, in fact, pregnant. And they just found out that she is having a little girl. So I thought that was really, like, bizarre that my grandnephew Ryder had a dream about his mother having a little girl, and no sooner did that come about, his dream, that it actually came true. So I thought that was just phenomenal. So that's the first thing I wanted to share with you guys. And the other thing was, if you had watched the video previous to this and you heard me commiserating about how they keep predicting thunderstorms for us and we never seem to get any. And I said that night they were predicting the storms and all this kind of stuff and nothing was happening. Well, I did that videotape, and I stopped the tape and I went upstairs to cook dinner. And as I was cooking dinner, guess what happened? Yep, we got a thunderstorm. So bad, but the wind was so horrendous. I was in the middle of cooking dinner and my power went out. And so that was fun. And fortunately, we have one of those electronic lighting stoves, so I could light it with the the barbecue lighter, the clicker lighter thing that you use. So I managed to be able to finish dinner, but 10 hours our power was out. And apparently because of the wind, I don't understand this stuff, but apparently because of the wind, some wires got tangled in a tree and it shorted out a transformer or something. I don't know. But the utility company had to go and get the tree cut down. A tree service had to come cut the tree down away from the wires, and then they had to replace the wires and the transformer. So 10 hours. So it went out at 6:15, and I didn't get power back until 4 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, that was fun. So I guess I got my hand slapped there for whining and complaining that we never get a thunderstorm. So I'll be a little more careful next time. But anyway, so that was that. So, okay, so what I'm going to do here, I guess I'm just going to go up from one bottom part. Oh, I'm sorry, I just hit a drawer here, and that's attached to the table that I have the, I want to see which way I want to go, that I have the camera to attached to, so I gotta scoot over a little bit, maybe stay away from that. So anyway, yeah, I thought that was just like incredible. So yeah, so that was my big news since I did my last video. So what we're gonna do here today, like I said, we're gonna work on these. Just kind of went off my thing here. I'll get rid of that glue. We're gonna work on these 4 tags, I'm hoping, definitely these 2. You're gonna have to watch me do a little bit of fussy cutting here, because I was supposed to get that done before I actually started the video, and I forgot to do that because I was engrossed in something else. So I will fussy cut as quickly as I can, and then we're gonna work on you know what, let me just let that sit. I'll let that dry. We're going to work on seeing about doing the other tags. And that, you know, I can't do anything simple. We've already established that, I think. I always have to make it more complicated than it needs to be. So I made things probably just a little too fancy because, you know, I thought, oh, this would really look nice, but I don't know how practical it's going to be. And then, of course, now I've got to kind of rethink my tags for the other thought that I had to go along with it. So I don't know. We'll see. But in any case, we're going to give it a try. Going to give it a whirl and see what I come up with. So you will be probably part of my thinking process with this as we go along with these other tags. So that is what I'm thinking. So let's get this cut. Go right around here. I just wanted to get a little bit of stuff done, you know, for it, so that you didn't have to watch me, you know, glue things on, you know, just to make the tag base or ink a whole bunch, or I was supposed to fussy cut, and I did fussy cut the other thing, which was pretty big. So I partly did this, and you know, I don't know. I did that one, I did this one really rough. I'm still thinking, do I want to leave it with the white, or do I want to fussy cut it closer? I tend to do all my fussy cutting right along the line of the picture, but I don't know how this will be. So I think we're just going to go ahead and we're going to try just fussy cutting this out. I'm doing better with being able to see things. I'm not going to go completely in because these are very skinny stems on these pictures. And there's a lot of stem on this, so I want to try to keep it. I will go down here. I want to try to keep it so that it doesn't, you know, look too white. Yeah, so anyway, so that being that, and I will go into the other side of this flower, but I'm going to try to keep that stem from being too thin. I mean, it's okay because it's going to get glued down. It's not like my other piece where part of it won't be glued down. So I just have to be careful not to, you know, tear it, this piece here. So anyway, so those were my two big stories. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to mention, which I keep forgetting, the last couple videos I did, I have forgotten to mention. Some of you may be aware of the journal, that the French rabbit journal that I had done. I actually gifted to Gail Augustinelli, and she did do a video on her Etsy shares because my shop was new, and she decided that she would do that for me, which I thought was really very nice, very gracious of her. And but when there's been a couple people who have ordered my journals. They've taken more than one, so there's only a couple people who had received the letter that I wrote to go along with my fixing my glasses here. The letter that I wrote to go along with my journals, and I put in an envelope that said letter from the journal maker, and when you open it up it says a letter to the journal keeper. Now, a lot of people, Gail read that letter because I gave it to Gail, because I give it to everybody as my plan who purchases or that I gift a journal to. So Gail read it on her Etsy share, and if any of you had seen it, she was, you know, pretty touched by the letter, and a lot of people asked if there would be a copy of it available. Now, since it was a letter that I had written to go with my creations, my journals, I didn't necessarily want to share that one per se, but I had offered to write a similar one, which I did, and it didn't take me too long. A couple of days I had it written, and the only problem was, you all know that I am not tech savvy. I don't know anything about computers. I don't have any special software or any of that kind of stuff. I know the bit that I know, but it's not much, apparently, compared to what you really can do with a computer. But in any case, my niece, the one who's having the little girl, Melissa, my niece Melissa, my nephew's wife, is very computer savvy. So I asked her, I'm just going to get rid of these bits and pieces. I asked her, oh, and by the way, I'll get back to that. All these little bits and pieces, and when I cut things out of paper, you know, out of my white copy paper, I've been saving all of those little scraps because I bought myself a decal frame, and I am going to start making paper, and I thought, what a great way to reuse all that stuff that I would normally cut away and throw away, you know, because what can you do with a piece that, you know, you cut out of here? Nothing much. I don't know, maybe some people can, but I'm not that creative. So I decided that I was going to save all those bits and pieces, and I would try my hand at making some paper. So I figured white is good, and if I want to change the color, I can just add things, you know, either paints or food colorings or, you know, whatever. So anyway, it'll come eventually. It'll come. Lord knows I'm collecting more paper than you can possibly, well, you know, I guess you do understand. But it's filling up rapidly from cutting out all the stuff, because all of my paper, when I print a sheet, you know, a digital for pages, I get a border on everything, and sometimes the border's a little bit bigger, sometimes it's pretty narrow. I really can't do anything with that, but I've been cutting away tons and tons and tons of that and just saving all those pieces. But anyway, so I gave I had written a letter, I sent it to my niece, and I had tried, I really did, but I couldn't get rid of around the letters, I was getting a little bit of white, you know, like little digital squares all around them. I couldn't get the letters clean. So finally I tried everything I could and I just gave up. So I contacted Melissa, and so she was trying, and she did a couple of things, and she had a couple of computers she could do it on. And of course, you know, she's working and she's got a husband and a child, and now she's pregnant and stuff. So it wasn't a quick process. She gets to it as she can. And to make a long story short, she did finally get me a copy that was nice and clean in the letter. And after all of that, when I read the letter, I had two mistakes. I had left out a word and chose the wrong tense for another word. So that was just yesterday. And I said, oh my gosh, Melissa, it's perfect. It's beautiful. I said, but can I just ask you one more thing? I said, I screwed this up and I sent this back. So she's like, no problem, but I haven't seen it back yet, but I'm sure it will come soon. So I'm thinking that by the time this journal that I'm doing gets up in my shop, which hopefully it'll be, I want to do the flip through before I actually post it there. So I'm hoping to get the flip through done this is Sunday for me, so I'm hoping to get it done for Wednesday this week. I'm hoping that Melissa will be able to have that letter back to me by then. And so then my next step, and Etsy tells me it's no different to post digital than it is to post photograph of a journal that you've done, because it's just the file, I guess. I'm hoping. If I have any issues, I'll be calling some of my friends that I know who do digitals and ask them, how do I get this posted? But I promised the letter like just ages ago, like in May, and I have been working on it. I just, between my eye and Melissa trying to help me and, all of this other stuff, it just hasn't been very quickly forthcoming. So I'm hoping that by the middle of this week, if not maybe hopefully by the weekend, I will figure out how to, I'll get the proper one complete from Melissa, and I will post it in my shop. And so anybody who was interested in that letter, it will be up there. If you've favorited my shop, then when I post something, you should get a notification that something has been posted. So I'm sorry, this one's taking a really long time. The other one was a little bit more simple, and I do apologize that you're watching me do this. But in any case, so yeah, so that's that. So I'm working on getting that letter up and into the shop, which will make me feel a lot better, because like I said, I had promised it to a lot of people, and I have not yet been able to get it done, but I have been working on it. So it is very similar. As a matter of fact, a few of the lines are exactly the same as they were in the other letter that I did. The idea and content are the same, it's just worded a little bit differently. So it's just not exactly the same as the one that I was personally using for my own, journals. So that being said, that's the other thing that I wanted to let you guys know about. So yeah, so that's about that. So today we are enjoying beautiful sunshine. I'm looking up at my basement window because y'all know I'm down here in the basement in the corner. I'm much happier today for doing the recording today, because yesterday we again had torrential rain while my power didn't go out yesterday. That was last Tuesday night. But we had a lot of rain, and my work area, I'm not in a room, I'm just in a area of my basement against like one side of my house, in a corner more or less, and in that corner I share with the sump pump. And since we live in Buffalo and we're probably about 2 miles as the crow flies from Lake Erie and about maybe 20 miles as the crow flies from Lake Ontario, Niagara Falls, yeah, we have a very high water table here. So it doesn't take much rain for this sump pump to go off. My basement is very dry. I'm very grateful for that. They've done, you know, good things here in this house to ensure that the basement stays dry. So I'm happy for that. I am happy for the sump pump. I'm just not happy that sometimes it goes off with a very unpleasant watery sound and motor sound, you know, while I'm here, especially if I'm doing any kind of videotaping. Right now, my husband's got laundry going in the back, the other side of the basement from me. I don't think you can hear it. Every time I think that you guys can hear some of the things that I hear, I listen to the videos later and I don't hear them. So, but yeah, so he's got his laundry going over there. So yes, my husband does his own laundry. Isn't that nice? So that's good. He doesn't do my laundry, but sometimes I do his. So here's my little bits and pieces that I don't know. Maybe somebody who's super creative would know what to do with them. I don't. So I just take these little guys and I drop them in a box over there. And that takes care of that. So I think I'm okay with that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my little bit of tissue here, and I'm going to, this is my antique linen, and I'm just going to kind of dull down the white on here. Excuse me. And so it doesn't look so glary. Since I really can't ink the edges of this, and say I've got a leaf that flipped right there because it's so finely cut. All right, so that's good. A little bit right there. Okay, and we'll do the same to this one. Okay, so these are going to be relatively simple. Nothing too fancy here. I've been using, oh, that's something else I wanted to tell you, which you will see, but I'll show you in this. I've taken to inking on the tissue paper because on here the ink will stay wet, and if I put something down after I've done that, you know, after I've inked something like that, sometimes I pick the ink up off of here if I don't think to wipe it. So this way the ink just kind of absorbs into this paper and it's no big deal. So these are going to go this way. We remember that, right? Because we want this on the bottom. And then we're just going to glue, if I can get these apart. Can I get these apart? Here we go. Okay, and we're just going to glue these on here, trying to decide. I'm thinking I like it like that. And we are going to put butterflies on, but do I want, he's a big one, huh? I don't know if I want him quite that big. I picked them out yesterday, but I was tired. Yeah. This one's smaller though. Let's see, if I put this one on, I'm trying to make sure that it fits, so I'm just rotating till I think it fits okay. Do I want to, I definitely have to do the bigger one with the smaller flower, which I think will be all right. And the reason why I'm using blue, I wasn't originally going to, but I picked up this paper from another of Screech Owl's kits, because I just wanted something else. I wanted to tie in the white embossing that I was doing, so I instead of just having the more tea-dyed antique paper, I mixed the white and the cream color, the tan, you know, tea-dyed colors, which I like. So yeah, so anyway, so that's what that sort of was. This is still trying to dry. I got another one up here. Let me see. It's still trying to dry too, so this is going to take a little bit, I think. It's going to take a minute. yeah, so I'm gonna have to, I'm actually gonna do these with the darker ink on their antenna instead of the cream, the antique linen. Kind of mumbling to myself here. Yeah, okay. So we'll put the bigger butterfly. So anyway, yeah, I started to show you this paper. So you might be able to see that there's a little bit of blue flowers in here, which is why I'm choosing to use the blue butterflies, because it will kind of all pull in together on that same piece. So, all right, so let's get this done. And I've been taking to using these little pointy tweezers. Actually, I think I'm gonna, let me put the lid back on this. I'm gonna use my Fabri-Tac on here, which I'm probably gonna have to clean the tip because I didn't cover it. Didn't put my pin back in. All right. So we were looking at what? This way, right? I think. Well, that looks good. Actually, I kind of, yeah, you know what? I think I like it like that. So just grab it here, or not. Let me find it again. Grab it more from here because I want, oh, I got the lace. I want to be able to just sort of flip it back, if you know what I mean. Did fill up my glue, which was nice.